Hello, this is David, and welcome to Equity Story. I'd just like to say I think these videos are more important when the markets are down, because what it importantly does, it gives us support levels and gives us possible entry prices when we can get into obviously some of the stocks that we obviously believe we can make money in. When I look at the ASX 200, I do think that obviously the first level of support is at 5,400. The second level is around 5,260. And then if it breaks that, obviously we go back down to the 5,000 and the last support 4,800. But before we think any sort of further ahead, definitely that 5,400 is an area of support, and that's pretty much strongly confirmed when you look at the daily chart. We've got this equity story trend line here about 5,391. So I think 5,400 hopefully will act as support, and if it does, hopefully we can have a little pivot and a little bit bounce off that support. If you're actually having a look at obviously all the different sections today, you've got obviously the 500 was down and the ASX 300 was down. Interesting. I think the emerging markets was slightly up. These are companies like Yowie, but they've got a lot of little gold plays in that, and obviously that's helps support those that area of the market. What I would like to say, I had quite a few phone calls today that say, "Hey, Dave, you took a loss, so I better talk to you through that one." We don't often take many losses at Equity Story. We do have a pretty strong record. First of all, I'll just give you a little. Obviously, CGF had a good trend. We thought it was absolutely great. The other thing about CGF we like is that they are reporting this month. I think it's on the 18th, and we do anticipate it will be a pretty decent, report. However, unfortunately, today's price action was a little bit, I think maybe a bit of an overreaction, but I think it's a sign of there's going to be a bit of negativity in this stock. I just don't like the way it's sort of gapped down as strongly as it has. The last time it had a little gap like that, it tended to gap down further the next day, and potentially this 850 level could come into play. And what we just said, Equity Story, it doesn't feel quite right, this stock at the moment, and we're going through turbulence. What we don't want to do is go through a lot of turbulence in a little Cessna. We prefer to go through turbulence in a big Boeing 707 and put our money into Burson, which is a stock that we've obviously done well on, made money. And Burson, like all the other stocks, has come down with the market, so it's come down from around that 580 down to 543, bounced off really beautifully like it's meant to, and we thought, yeah, let's get in there at 555. So we really just wanted to transfer from a trend which we thought had a few issues back into one which we think looks a lot stronger. Saying that, today we obviously Bellamy's just looks absolutely. I was saying the other day, the way it broke that sort of $12 level, and now it's broken. I think that sort of resistance there. Bellamy's for me, often people say, Dave, if you made 5, 6, 7%, you often take it in a short time. We tend to, but I think this is. I think we can run this one harder. This looks in a negative market. This is doing really, really well for us. So. The way it's trending, I think this is just going to trend up even higher. It looks very, very, very bullish. So we're monitoring it closely, but at the moment we're happy to hold this trend, and again, to sort of make money in this market is extraordinarily good. Again, Domino's is a stock we're trending at the moment. It's fine. I mean, it's holding that sort of really shorter term Equity Story trend line. One thing again about Domino's, it is fundamentally it's reporting this month. We are expecting a really strong report, and I think the report's only about sort of about a week and a half away. We are expecting this to possibly overperform again, and I think this trend could continue on pretty nicely. As with Goodman Group, there's a little bit more maybe when we put trends in Equity Story than what you maybe think at home. We do look at obviously at the trend, but we do look at fundamentally. Again, we like the Goodman Group story. For me, it's fine. It's just coming back, holding that sort of shorter term trend line. And again, they're reporting, I think, on the 13th or 14th of this month. After, if you're not too sure, give me a call at Equity Story and I'll check that for you. But again, we're pretty confident it's going to be a good report, and we definitely obviously like the story, and the trend is still great. GHC, again, that's fine. It was more or less where we put it on. A little bit less, but I mean, the trend looks fine. Held that support, normal price action in the weak market, and we've still got obviously a lot higher target price in the short term on this stock. Vocus, again, just looks fine, outperforming the market, and looks great, and hopefully can obviously turn up with the market in the next few days. FPH, where we put it on, but looks fine. I mean, these stocks, I think both Focus and FPH have traded brilliantly in a weak market the last few days, as has CAR. Again, just got no issues in it, holding those trend lines, looks absolutely fine. And again, CAR has given indications of its of what sort of performance it's done, and I think it looks very, very, very strong. So again, no issues at all holding CAR and taking it and riding it through this sort of turbulent few days. I just like to say obviously the 3-year growth stories have just been pretty amazing in a really tough market to have things like Appen just up again, just up 4% in today's market. I mean, these equity story growth stories are just sort of they're just embarrassingly strong, a lot of them. One that hasn't actually sort of jumped 30-40% like a lot of them is VTG Group. And again, we really like the story, but I think this chart's starting to look really good. It's done everything you want a chart to do. It's popped its head up, come down, it's held that moving average. It's starting to bounce off it. I think hopefully Vitaco Group could possibly surprise when they put their earnings out. And again, this company is obviously taking health frees and vitamins and a lot of great products into China. And we've quietly got a lot of confidence that this can really outperform with its earnings and its growth. So again, it's good to see it's sort of coming to life, and it's good to see that sort of nice little price action today on the daily chart. Basically, that's all I've got to talk about today, except obviously that announcement I sent out today. Great to see, again, in a tough market, LP up 8.5%. There's no way that this stock deserves to be trading, going back and it's come back. Look at the trend line. It's gone back. It's retested that sort of longer term moving average. I don't think it deserves to actually retest it that quickly. I mean, the earnings and the growth of the company look absolutely fantastic. The report they put out today, again, looked very, very strong, and I just feel that this stock is, being bought a lot, being churned a lot by certain brokers. But I think, we're looking at a really bullish chart at the moment, and I think there's no reason why it can't in the next 2 or 3 weeks go back. As long as the market sort of behaves itself, go back and retest this high at 0.05. Again, it's a fantastic story, and a really good story in difficult times as well, with pretty solid recurring earnings. And again, Lucapa, I thought that was, you look at Lucapa's market cap's 200 million. They're only about half the project, so you could the 100 million, you could say it's a sort of a 200 million market cap. But again, they're finding diamonds everywhere, and some fantastic numbers that came out today. So it's well worth going to the website, looking at those recent diamond finds. And again, I think Lucapa's a great story. I think it's worth where on the diamonds it's finding now. It's worth where its current share price is. And if it finds the source of all these amazing diamonds, where I think one day it's going to find it. If it's not this year, it's going to be next year. This is a $5, $6, $7, $8 stock. So, Lucapa's got so much potential if it finds this the source of the diamonds. It's just a really exciting 10-bagger. And like I said, I think with the diamonds they're finding at the moment, it's worth 0.38%. So there you go. You've got a great story with a huge lottery ticket attached to it. Another of those stories I did say it the other day was AHZ. I know they did that naughty on us. They had that little capital raise at 0.33. I mean, get into the story. But again, this is a company we believe is definitely on CardioCel worth a lot more than where it's trading. They're turning into profit, which is pretty extraordinary for a medical company, in this sort of phase of where they are. But we think this can get to 70, 80, maybe even $1 on CardioCel. But again, if they find the cure for herpes, it's got a fantastic lottery ticket attached. So stories that we think are sort of, worth what they're trading with a lottery ticket attached are well worth a look for obviously a decent sort of medium to longer term hold. Anyway, I'd like to sort of thank you for listening to Equity Story, and we'll obviously watching the markets, and just remember, if markets go down, it gives us a lot of opportunities. So it's very important we always take advantage of however that we get played these cards. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for listening to Equity Story, and have a good night. Thank you. Bye bye.